Welcome to a special edition of the Sports Report After Dark. I am your host, Seven. With me is my hetero life mate, Dan the Dick Warner. What's up, man?
What's up, buddy?
I've got to say, those glasses look almost as gay as the fan that was heckling Jaron Duran. Oh, you know what? I stand corrected. Your glasses can get gayer.
This is like an art. It's like an art project with the gayness. They're like booby tassels.
Are you making them for Elton John?
Yeah, these are actually Elton John's glasses. They're worth like $1 million. They're his actual ones. I literally have so much disregard for them. He gave them to me personally, and I have so much disregard for them that I poked one of the lenses out today. They're worth $2.5 million. I mean, these are the ones like on the albums and everything.
Did you wear those while you were playing golf today?
No, I actually wore the Juan Soto's here. I just wanted to be serious. I wanted to be serious, but I also wanted to do the Soto shuffle after I hit the ball, and I did several times in front of everyone. I mean, I would actually. I wasn't playing for most of the time. I was just driving the cart around to be generally in front of somebody else's cart, and I would do stretches and things like that, and just really get it going.
It's. I will say, and how'd you shoot today?
I shot a solid 52.
Solid 52
on 9 holes.
You hit that many people.
Obviously, if I shot 52 on 18 holes, that's the greatest score. That's I don't on most fucking you be like, what is that? 3 hole in ones, 3 hole in ones, 4 eagles, 3 hole in ones, 4 eagles, 11 birdies is what.
11 birdies.
Yeah,
it's Tiger Wood would personally ask you for coaching on how to survive his golf career.
Tiger's never shot 52. Tiger's never shot 52. That's I did on Tiger Woods, I think.
You shot a 50. Oh, on the video game, the Tiger Woods PGA.
Yeah, you can get sick good at that game.
Why? I mean, why play golf so serious? John Daly doesn't do anything serious in his life. Or he also doesn't do anything sober, and he's a millionaire playing golf and wearing stuff that's so clashy it makes
living his best feet on the ground, dirty hippie life, man.
Dirty hippie life.
Just dirty hippie life. I swear the other day when I saw him on fucking Facebook, he had like braids in his beard, and I was like, oh, is that from the flower child hour you had last night? Did you guys eat some shrooms? Did you? Like he looks like all the time, dude. He looks like he's just like, yeah, dude. Hey, yeah. Go ahead. There's a fucking a compilation of him with Bryson DeChambeau going, oh, Bryson, did you see what Bryson just did? He's like, he'll be going to the camera guys. He's like, hey, did you fucking see that? Did you see what Bryson just did? It's the whole, like, he's totally serious though. He's like in awe. He's like, he just hit that 360 though. He's like, 360 par 4. He's like, you just put it on the green. He's like, he'll just go up to everybody, just like, geez, man, he's good, right? Like, it's awesome. It's hilarious. Yeah, he's so funny, dude. He's like, man, he can hit it.
Yeah. I enjoy that he doesn't take. I enjoy that he doesn't take everything seriously, in the best way. Like he still goes out there, and when he wants to, he hits that damn ball. But he's also that same guy that'll tell you, I don't play golf on the weekends.
Bro, he's that everyman guy. He's literally like, he's the fucking, He's the equivalent of what's the dude from God damn it, Danny McBride. Danny McBride is what is he fucking the baseball pitcher?
Oh God, what is I
Why can we not think of it?
Kenny Powers.
Kenny Powers, and the show is
Yeah.
called Eastbound and Down. Okay,
Eastbound and Down. Yeah.
yeah, gotcha. That's like he's like the Kenny Powers.
He really is like the real life version of Kenny Powers. And but he does it a lot better because he can handle his coke and his alcohol.
Right. He's like keeping his shit together. Like Bryson DeChambeau's playing with him on a daily basis. Bryson DeChambeau played with his shoes off the other day.
Wait,
And
what?
like he played a hole with his shoes off. I watched all the videos, so apparently I'm just like, if I scroll on my Facebook or anything, it's just like they're all coming up. So I'm watching golf videos all day, apparently with DeChambeau and John Daly. But like they're just doing weird shit. Yeah, but like he took his shoes off, and DeChambeau's a serial killer, so he's real weird about like his feet on the grass. He likes to have his socks on still. But yeah, it's good stuff. Really good stuff.
I'll have to check that out. That's interesting.
And Daly's still good, dude.
He is, yeah.
Murders it off the tee. Like murders the golf ball off the tee. Like it. I don't know how they don't break sometimes because of this. Like the sound is so good, and he's still so really strong. He's just throwing all his weight into it, obviously.
I wonder.
Barefoot.
I wonder if any of those guys have actually done that. Like they hit a ball so hard, or maybe it's just a ball they've used a lot, and it just cracks when it comes off of the tee.
They probably don't but like you said, if you kept a ball for a while, absolutely, like you could absolutely crush one of those things for sure. Like if it's an old one, like and it's brittle, yeah. But like they're using fucking Titleist Pro V1s, like they're using them like 2 or 3 times, and they're getting new ones. They're throwing them in the old recycle bucket.
Yeah, they're not holding on to those balls for very long. A lot of those probably end up getting auctioned off for $25 or $50 a piece at the pro shop at the course that they're at. John Daly hit this ball twice.
Yep, and they got thrown into the crowd.
Yeah,
just thrown randomly in the crowd. Like, yeah. So
it's
Tiger wouldn't do that. Tiger's too classy. Tiger's far too classy with his Home Depot girlfriends to do that for you guys.
His Home Depot girlfriends.
18 of them.
18 of them.
In the words of Ron White, Tiger was 18 of 82,000. He could have slept with 87,000 more women, and he only chose 18 of them. So like he was in love with Ela Nordegren. He was in love with his wife.
That's a valid point that I don't think it's talked about enough. Like, don't get me wrong, the dude had a problem. Like,
I
mean, here's the thing. We can't ignore that sex addiction is a real thing. And yes, you're famous. We all know athletes get trim on the road. Like nobody's surprised by that happening. Their wives all know about it. They just act disappointed when it gets out in the public and inside, like, why'd your dumb ass get caught? Like, because they know.
Yeah. Or they're just going and they're just saying like, hey, it's okay. Like, just don't humiliate me in front of like, you know what I'm saying? Like, basically, like, hey, as long as everybody doesn't know that you're doing this, like, if you keep it on the low far enough that I'm not getting it back around to me and shit, like, and I'm getting fucking hurt about it, go for it. Because how in the fuck are you like? I'm sure a lot of them do. Let's not sit here and say that like all these dudes are just out there banging chicks on the road because they're not. They're not. I'd say, but at least a third of them, right? You say 1 out of every 3.
Right. I would. That's pretty realistic. Yeah, 1 out of every 3. Like they're getting some kind of trim on the road, but they're also not plowing through that many in that short amount of time, that consistently, and that's where because like we talk about 18, there's no way it was just 18. You can't tell me it was just 18.
Oh my god.
There's no way.
Dude, he was making these women fall in love with him too. Like if you read the fucking text messages, it is sad. Like they're like Tiger's in love with them too. Is the weirdest fucking part, dude. Tiger is like actually loves all of them. He's like, oh yes, I can have so many of them.
He's collecting them like they're fucking Pokemon cards.
It's because he watched his dad Earl when he was a kid. in his countless hours of fucking practice, take multiple blonde women back to a trailer, and then that trailer was knocking, or the trailer was rocking, don't come and knocking, all right? Because Earl is pounding some Vij, all right? And Tiger knows it because he's smart, you know. He has to see that shit. He's like, oh, that's how it works, you know. I have a business marriage relationship, right? And I just get to pick whoever I want, right?
And right, but it's not about and the reason that I believe he did have a problem is it wasn't about the practice, it was about the frequency. Because like even like an NBA player, like we'll say Kobe, you know, because Kobe had all that controversy.
Right.
Of course, we know that there's no way that Kobe only had sex with a few women while he was on the road.
That was the first one, Tony. What are you talking about?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But
it was the first one.
At the same time, Kobe wasn't banging that many women on the road.
No.
And he also wasn't getting caught all the time doing it, because we also have to forget that, yes, the issue with him cheating on Aaron Nordgren was the biggest one that was talked about. Wasn't the only fucking time it happened.
Absolutely not. And she's chasing him down the fucking driveway with a fucking 9-iron in the most picturesque fucking domestic dispute of all time. A fucking 9-iron through the back of an Escalade in some dude's driveway in Beverly Hills. Like, where does this story go from here? Huh? No, we start building a plot. Is there a plot? And then so Tiger's like that friend that we have, Tony. Like you know, I mean, we could probably think of one off the top of our heads where, like, literally he gets a fucking few drinks in him, and in Tiger's case, a few Oxycontins in him, and he just absolutely just goes berserk. Okay, like cannot. He's like winding up one of those fucking clapping cymbal monkey things and just putting it on turbo mode, right? And you just can't stop him. And that's what Tiger drives under the influence of alcohol and painkillers, or not. I shouldn't say drives. Drove allegedly for many miles to different women's houses. You know, all his penthouses sprawled across the cities, because he's worth what, like $6.8 billion or some shit like that.
Yeah,
that's a lot of different. Yeah, that's. I mean, mo money, mo problems, Tony. that we can be sure of in this particular case.
Yeah, that's the thing, is like, you understand that athletes are going to do it, but it really is volume that's the problem. That was the problem with Tiger: volume and frequency. That's the other thing, and that's where the problem comes in.
Yeah, Tony, and snorting OxyContin. You know what I'm saying? Like snorting OxyContin, and just being nose deep in some Las Vegas blonde tall hooker ass. All, dude. Apparently this guy, this is allegedly, he would just be up there three at a time, three blonde, tall, beautiful Vegas hookers at a time for 48 hours, sometimes 72 hours.
That's clearly a fucking problem, man.
Rotations. I didn't say it wasn't a problem. I just said he's Tiger, all right? He is named after a woodland or a predator, all right? One of the greatest that's ever lived, okay?
He was definitely a fucking predator.
And then he went out and fucking predated on everybody. Right? Like,
but I mean, you win that many majors, you make that much money, you become the best thing to happen to the sports world since Michael Jordan. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you're gonna get away with some shit. But hopefully at his age, I think the reason he needed all the Oxycontin, because he was throwing so much leg, he kept throwing his fucking back out. That's probably what caused all of the back injuries.
So, dude didn't even have to do steroids because his fucking testosterone levels were so fucking through the roof that he had to jerk off 3 times, have sex with 9 blonde hookers, and like just do some weird shit in Home Depot parking lots for, like, you know, a day. He had to somehow suffice this a day because he's out there kicking ass. Like, and he starts getting brainwashed a little bit because he's really young, right? He hits his first professional golf shot at the age of 2 years old. Nobody knows what that motherfucker's been through. Don't act like you do. Don't act like you know anything about him. Okay. Right. He has had a different life. Okay. And he happens to be a prodigy, right? He's like Beethoven that can hit a 350-yard, you know, three wood. All right. That kind of shit. And like, he's a freak. He's a masterclass. And yeah, so his ego gets built up. His ego gets built up, and you know what happens after that? It's just a slow downward spiral into, oh, he really is that good, and he already knows he's that good. And then there's people just telling him, yeah, yep, pretty much anything you want, Mr. Woods. And it's just like
surrounded by people that will tell him anything he wants to hear, give him anything he asks for.
Yep.
Once that kid was a teenager, he didn't know what the word no was.
No.
It's honestly with his process, I'm surprised there wasn't more accusations of sexual assault. I'm glad there wasn't, but I'm surprised it didn't happen. Because normally guys with that kind of drive, libido, pattern, whatever you want to look at it,
yep,
they do it when they're not supposed to. But apparently Tyler had enough money to make sure that wasn't a problem.
Dude, Tone, you're kind of like hitting on something that I think that you're like touching around it, and I love it because I was about to say the same thing. Like, dude, this motherfucker. Okay, yeah. Dude, this motherfucker, like I said earlier, dude, I'm about to look up these text messages. Have you read these text messages?
It's been a long time, but yeah, I remember.
The voicemails are fucking, dude. These are two in love. These are two in love individuals in text message conversation, and like they're like gooey over each other. And he's doing it with 18 different women at the same time.
But here's the thing: was he really in love with them, or was he really good at acting like he was in love?
He was really convincing. He was really convincing, and Tony, he was convincing now. Yeah,
these women wanted Tiger. They didn't just want Tiger to sleep with them and give them money. They wanted Tiger to be in love with them, so that they could consistently
have babies. They wanted Tiger's babies. They all wanted Tiger's babies,
right?
Because they'd be just the most adorable biracial millions of dollars in a little,
exactly.
Yeah.
And so he gave them the experience that they wanted in exchange for getting the thing that they wanted.
Yep. And there's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, and hey, you know what? What happens between consenting adults is between consenting adults. I'm not knocking it. I'm just saying I don't think he was in love with them. I think he was good at making them think he was in love with them.
Oh, I'm not saying he was like in love with them. I'm saying he was doing that kind of relationship where they think they're in love with him or want to be in love with him.
Right.
18 times.
Right. That's
Tony, we've done it with one, right? And some of them have not been the best of experiences, correct? Just one. One times one. Just do 17 more of those every day.
I mean, if he was just copy and pasting messages, he'd probably save time.
You're a fucking evil genius, you know
that? I look, I went through my whole phase just like everybody else did. That's all I'm gonna say.
That's the answer to like the number 6 on the fucking sociopath test list on the fucking FBI. It's like if you were trying to convince 18 different people and manipulate them into thinking something, would you A, act like you were manipulating them? B, right?
I mean,
be like, yeah, like B, you copy and paste messages.
It's the player handbook, man. That's all I'm saying. If you're running the same con against 18 different women, why are you going to take up the fucking time to think of new material for each bitch?
Like Def Jams thanks you for that reference, Tony.
That's
how to be a player.
I'm just saying.
Bling bling, baby. Yeah, no, I mean, I get it now. Yeah, you just like introduced me like a whole new fucking avenue.
Did you think that before?
I was like, copy and paste. Wait, hang on. What now? It's like when I heard about Tinder, I was like, what's that? What is that?
Swipe for women and ask for sex? Like that's a thing?
It's pussy. Pussy convention on your phone. It's right there. It's craziness. We weren't meant to stay sane during this, Tony. Just so you know. I don't think anybody was meant to stay sane during this.
No.
If you can, it shows you're not.
Yeah. I wouldn't trust somebody that can stay sane during all this. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Right. There's people walking around like, hi, having a great day, 8 to 5. And like not one person. Nope. I don't even see people smile.
And I'll tell you where I think it comes from. Because with the increase in capitalism, the increase in stimulation is required for the people that fuel capitalism. Because it's just gotten more and more the entire time. All the lights, all the sounds. Why do you think, despite all of the different machines that are in a casino, you can hear every single one as you walk by it? Why do you think the brightness is all the way up on all those fucking screens?
Shiny.
Why do you
Shiny
think
thing.
all the lights for all of the signs as you drive down business roads? They could have more efficient bulbs that weren't as bright and save money on the power bill. They want you to see that sign from a half mile away or as soon as you can on that road so that you have time to think about stopping.
So you're saying it's like basically the version of shiny, like shiny things. Hey, shiny. Yeah. Oh, ooh, shiny. Like it's kind of like, they're distracting us. They're distracting us from what's really going on. That's kind of, yeah. It's like bright lights over here.
Like, and I know you have as well. As somebody that has ADHD, when you objectively sit back and look at it, that's exactly what they're doing the entire fucking time, is just trying to get your attention bouncing back to different things.
Like a person with a laser light and a cat.
You may not decide you want a Whopper from Burger King in 1 30-second ad, but if you get constantly reminded about that 30-second ad, eventually you're like, yeah, I'll go to Burger King.
Pound it in there.
Because like stuff with us, we need to be reminded constantly when we've got shit to do, because we will forget it because our mind works in a different way. Yep. So somebody has to say, hey, don't forget, you've got this appointment at 8 o'clock today. Hey, don't forget, 45 minutes, you got to leave for that appointment. Hey, in about 10 minutes, you got to get out the fucking door, because our minds are just working in such a different way. Well, guess what? About every 45 minutes, you know what you see? A fucking Burger King commercial.
Yep.
It's the same shit.
It's on the new track. It's on the new track. They got to time out the tracks for, people changing over to the, yeah. Just pound it. Hey, it almost came out. Pound more in there. It almost came out. Pound more in there. Yeah.
It's pounding in the submission.
Well, I need a drink.
So
Code Red's not cutting it anymore, Tone.
So let's start with the lead topic here, man, because I know you're a Yankees fan. I can see your inflated ego from here, and I need you in all of your stupid fucking Yankee glory,
yeah,
to justify to me why Aaron Judge is the MVP of the American League this season, because I don't see it.
Hang on real quick. Is this a trick? Is there like a trick? What's the catch here? Because I don't understand how this isn't already. This point's pretty much already been made, hasn't it?
No.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. So there's 39 Yankees regular season games left right now. I believe somewhere in that area, 38. Right. Okay. He has 47 home runs, 144 RBIs, and is hitting 336. Stephen Kwan is the only thing holding Aaron Judge from a third attempt now. It's 3 at the Triple Crown in the American League. Somehow he is having a better year, in my opinion. I watch every game, mind you, and sometimes they're the little short 10-minute ones. All right, you motherfuckers. But I'm not fucking perfect, okay? Okay. No. So every single out I am watching, Tony. But every Aaron Judge at bat I see, okay, with these things. These are Juan Soto's fucking glasses too. I see him, okay? Dude, defensively, Judge is the most average player I've ever seen in my life. Like, he makes a couple of spectacular plays because he's 6'7", right? He can get up over the fucking fence and shit. He doesn't cover enough ground. He wouldn't have to jump at those balls as high if he fucking could run faster to them.
That's fair.
Like, he's down there in like the 14th percentile of base running speed, but that's also because he jogs around the bases a lot, so I think they factor that in. But like, they're like he only goes what, 8 miles an hour on the base? That's really slow, right? Like, so is he like a slow runner? Like,
it's an uncontested run.
It's like, no, he's really fast. It's like, oh, okay. Well, why is he going to 8? Like, oh, he has homers, dingers, doesn't have to run very fast. No, but yeah, he's defensively, he's fucking like average, maybe possibly below average, but offensively, 100 percentile, but pretty much everything. Hits the ball as hard as anybody ever. He's the greatest power hitter. If you're going to go prime power hitter, he's the greatest one of all time because he just got to 300 home runs faster than any player ever. Did you see this stat? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And how many games was it, Tony? How many more games did it take the second person to do 300 home runs than Aaron Judge?
It was a full season, wasn't it? I can't remember
128 games. Faster than, I believe it was Mickey Mantle or somebody, is another Yankee, I think, or is maybe, I can't remember who it was. Anyway, but Hank Aaron maybe. I don't know. Anyway.
I think it was either Mantle or Hank Aaron.
Fastest to it, yeah. But by almost a whole season of like actual playing time. He's 32 years old though. Okay. Takes great care of himself, so he'll be around for another. He'll play the contract out, be all right. But sorry, we're talking about the future. But he's the MVP this year. This will be his second one, and then he's got at least probably two more too. So he'll be like four-time. There's no way that we thought he was going to be this good, and now the reputation backs his fucking style at the plate too now, which is weird. Like they don't throw to him, right? So he was always really good at picking out pitches. If a pitcher made a mistake, this motherfucker would murder home runs, dude. Like every time. That's all he was looking for, was mistakes. And now that's all they do to him. Does that make sense? That's all they do to him because they're throwing him fucking balls. He's walking. He has more walks than anybody in baseball, and intentional walks, right? So they're just walking him. So every single strike that he sees, he is fucking snapping on it, dude. Like he's gonna hit it because you can't throw it in the strike zone because he knows that you're not gonna throw it in the strike zone. You know what I'm saying? So it's craziness. It's the Barry Bonds treatment.
There is a Barry Bonds-esque Ryan. There is a very Bonds-esque piece to what Judge is doing, and I will say yes to that. But I want to show you, more of this Big J journalism that we commit to. Let's talk about the numbers side by side.
Why Bobby Witt? Why Bobby Witt?
God damn it. I did not want that to be a background. Hold on.
I feel like there's...
Well, first of all, it's Bobby Witt is the only one that actually has reason to hold contention to what Judge is doing. Because I will not lie with Judge hitting home runs, and I will say that Judge hitting home runs at the plate, there's nobody better in the league right now. But there's a lot more to baseball than that. And
bro, get the fuck out of here.
Listen to me. So first off, let's talk about the numbers side by side.
God. They're monstrously better on one side?
Side by fucking side. So identical plate attempts. So let's talk about identical plate attempts.
Bro, that's
178 hits. He has 29 more hits. Okay.
Yeah.
29
because he has like 80 singles, bro. He has like 80 singles. We ain't hitting singles around here. We don't want singles around here. 22 more home runs.
There's more to baseball than home runs, bro. Like there's other parts of the game. Like it's not a
what's the batting average there on Aaron Judge?
334. Bobby Witt Jr.'s is 352.
What would be the most overall summing statistic of all of these statistics, Tony, on this board? I believe it'd be at the very bottom. What would that OPS plus? That's usually a pretty good comparison of how good you are compared to the rest of peers as well, right?
No, OPS plus in this case is bullshit because of the fact that Judge gets the fucking Barry Bonds treatment and he gets walked so much more.
Is that his fault? I'm sorry, is that his fault? That should not win an MVP because he's getting the Barry Bonds treatment, or should it just solidify his MVP?
Okay, so here, let's take this a different way. I'm going to ask you a question this way. If the Yankees lose Aaron Judge tomorrow, he snaps his ankle, can't play for the rest of the season.
Don't even you fucking say that. Don't you even fucking Tony?
So let's say
watch your mouth, sir.
Let's say that happens tomorrow. The Yankees are still going to the postseason, still probably get a first round win, lose in the second round. That's pretty realistic, right?
What the fuck are you talking about?
That's realistic, right?
The team is if he doesn't come back. That's realistic. That's realistic.
The season. That's the caveat.
If he's out for the season.
Okay.
If he's out for the season, Tony, they probably don't get out of the first round.
They can get first round because you still got Soto. Those bats are still somewhat okay. You're just not going to win the close games, and so that's why I think you're going to get out of the first round. You'll win the wild card round, but the division series you're not winning.
unless the New York Yankees start to pull every bit of talent they have out of their entire roster, that's not going to get any better. And Jason Dominguez would need to come up and just be a fucking star, but they're not winning a World Series this year.
No, they're not. And
It's
I'm
not World Series roster.
I'm not saying that they would with Judge.
If you get lucky.
Without Judge, you should at least make it to the division series. I think that's realistic.
I think that's fucking asking a lot, but yes. Yeah.
If the Royals lose Bobby Witt Jr. for the season tomorrow, they don't even stay in the wild card standings enough to keep Boston out, because Witt has a bigger impact on the success of the Royals than Judge has on the success of the Yankees, and that is an MVP argument.
Okay, but you can't just you can't just fucking jam Juan Soto into the equation and then be like, well, that takes. You know what? My guy's more of an MVP because his team sucks. Like, that's not how that's not how it works. You know what I'm saying?
Because that's the true piece. That's the true core of an MVP. Whoever had the biggest impact on their team,
most valuable. If we're going by the actual definition,
player. Well, Bobby Witt Jr. is more valuable to the Royals and their success than Aaron Judge is to the success of the New York Yankees.
Because of Juan Soto. Solely because of Juan Soto. Take Juan Soto out of the equation, and then who's the MVP?
If you lose Judge and Soto, they're basically the same fucking team. But I won't just say that it's about Soto, because the Yankees pitching is better than the Royals pitching.
I don't know about that, actually. That might actually be false.
They had
a really good first half. They had a really good fucking first half. I'll give them that. They had a really good. Luis Hill looked fucking nails. I thought Luis Hill was going to be our fucking ace, dude. I was like, this guy's fucking dirty. And they started figuring him out. But like, he's still good. Yeah, but
arguably the Yankees have a better roster than the Royals do, and I'm not just talking about Soto, because you do still have Nestor Cortez when he's on. I know he hasn't been on recently. You're not pitching Clay Holmes near as much as you were.
That's
Jose is legitimately one of the better catchers in the American League.
Defensively. Yes.
Defensively, right. Not to play.
Wells offensively is fucking probably one of the better catchers in the American League. Our left-handed catcher. Yeah, he's not bad behind the plate. Also, a good prospect. Really good.
So and he's a solid hitter, and he is only 25, so he's just coming into his prime. I think next season you see a lot more of Austin Wells than you think.
My dude looks like he's fucking 34 though, because that fucking shady stash, bro. He's got that fucking 70s porn fucking caterpillar going on. It is fantastic.
And
right there. It's like this. Or I might just shave mine right now. I don't know.
You're
like it.
But I mean, look at your outfield. So without Judge in your outfield, you have Trent Grisham, Juan Soto, and Alex Verdugo,
and Jason Dominguez.
And that's right, and Jason Dominguez,
the Martian.
So you've got a solid infield, because when it comes time for the playoffs, that's usually when Verdugo is. That's the period of the season when Verdugo isn't useless.
He's played well this year. Sorry, not to get into Alex Verdugo.
He's been very streaky. He's been very streaky.
I named one of my cats after Alex Verdugo. His name's Verdugo.
Giancarlo is your DH. I mean, you can at least get something out of him.
Do you know in what was it, the Transformers, where they fucking go into that, like, it's one of the Transformers movies where they go into like the old salvage yard for the Navy, and all the fucking things are like rusted up. They all like all the Transformers like come up and they're like rusted and stuff. You know what I'm talking about? You're a nerd, right? You know what I'm talking about. That's what Giancarlo Stanton is. He's like one of those old guys. He's like, oh, I've been here. Oh, and he's like still like super in shape, like he's a Transformer, right? But his gears don't move the same. Like he's like a G.I. Joe, where like the slits are like fucking like filled up with dirt and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like he's got like somebody didn't keep him in the box, and like, yeah, that's what Giancarlo Stanton is right now. But he's still such a stud.
That's why he's a DH, bro.
Bro, it's awesome.
Boston didn't have David Ortiz at DH for 20 fucking years because he was fast.
And you know who does their best work also, weirdly, in the fucking playoffs? Oh, God. Giancarlo is fucking in the bottom 4 percentile of running speed. He's in the 4th percentile. he literally like can't even like. It's weird, dude. He can't even like. It's like his upper half weighs too much that it's like kind of sticks his lower half down. And that's why he doesn't tip over too. But like, yeah, it's a lot of steroids there, Tone. That's what they do to you. He's viraled out on steroids.
He's
don't even have to do it anymore.
I mean, there's a lot of juicing going on there. I'm not gonna lie, but
they viraled him out.
I'm trying to find. There's a certain stat I'm trying to find for fucking Judge real quick. By the way, those last stats that I shared were Baseball Reference, and I am on Fangraphs right now. I'm just trying to find this.
Can I tell you about how awesome it is to just be right about something and just
argue
with you? And like, I have nothing to worry about. I'm like, oh yeah, Bobby Witt's case, man, did you go 30? He went 30-30 again, which is like,
yes,
it's awesome. Okay, it's awesome.
For Aaron Judge to successfully steal 30 bases at this point in the season, he would have to be playing against the Savannah Bananas.
Bro, he's decently fast. All right. He's all right. He's 6'8". Give him a fucking break. All right.
He is 6'8". Get going, and you're right. And that's why I do give him a break because, like, it's got to take so fucking much to carry that frame around.
He's listed at 6'8", 290 pounds is what he's listed at. That is a dude. He's every bit of it. I've seen him in real life.
There's no way he's only 290 pounds because I am 5'8", and I'm 230 pounds. So no, there's no way he's only 290.
But dude, no, Judge is chiseled from a Gibraltar though. He has a six.
Muscle weighs more than fat, bro.
But 290 though, like that's not. I mean, that's a slim. He's a fit, trimmed 290, bro. Just a nice. That's huge, Tony. I think you're thinking 190. That's almost 300.
Because there is no way he only has 60 pounds on me, and he's a full foot taller than me.
Dude, muscle does weigh more than fat. I actually don't fucking know about that, by the way. I don't see any dudes that are like Ronnie Coleman, the fucking bodybuilder, didn't weigh no fucking 1,000 pounds. Now I've seen the fucking A&E shows where a lot of those women and men weigh 500 to 1,000 pounds, right?
Right.
Yeah, there's more mass there, right? But like at the same time, is there? I mean, if muscles weighs more than fat, then Ronnie Coleman should be like fucking about 1,200 pounds to a ton. Like Ronnie Coleman weighs a metric ton.
Is that the show you're talking about, My Big Fat Life or My 600-Pound Life?
Of course I am. The fat people. Yes, Tony.
Oh, God.
They disgust me, Tony.
You look like the type of person that watches that to feel better about themselves.
I don't. I know it exists, you know? And then I looked into being one of those guys that just like dates one of them and like pours cereal down their throats and stuff, you know, and like does the whole thing of milk. I looked into that just for a second, just to see how it felt. Just wanted to dip my toe in it, you know? Saw it one day. I got a little twitch. Downstairs. I was like, all right, we'll figure this out. Hey, you got to ask questions to yourself, Tony. Look inward. Do I want to be a food cuck? I don't know. Yeah.
I mean, the benefit of dating a woman that big is you got a lot of different folds you can stick it in. Doesn't have to be the right one. You just have to be willing to keep it in there long enough.
They all have baby powder in them. All right. And you're gonna get and Tony, you're gonna be seeing some of that Social Security check, bud. Right?
Oh yeah.
You're gonna be seeing some of that sweet government cheddar, baby.
Government cheddar.
And then you're gonna pour cheddar into somebody's mouth, like melted cheddar. A whole bag of frozen broccoli with a whole thing of Velveeta melted cheddar in her mouth. The whole thing.
I just
I'm disgusted at this point. Do you know what I'm talking about, though? Have you seen those guys do that? Like, they actually do that shit.
Yeah, I've seen that show. That show is so weird. Like, I don't. And here's the thing: I'm not mocking those individuals. I understand that there's an issue with the sickness and stuff like that. I'm not mocking them. I understand that eating disorders can go on a spectrum just as well, and health issues and thyroid problems and all of that. But why would anybody want to watch these people? Because it's all it's doing is mocking them. And if we're going to mock people, it should be fucking Raiders fans.
Absolutely. Because that makes sense. You know what I'm saying?
You can watch Raiders fans on Cops every night. So
you can go Raiders.
Did you see the interview with that kid where the Vegas news station sports guy was interviewing people at like the fan event? And this kid was all decked out in Raiders gear, and he asked him, he goes, how do you think your Raiders are going to do this season? And he kind of looks at him and takes a deep breath. He goes, they're not going to the Super Bowl. And
Yes.
the interviewer asked him, he goes, so what do they need to do to have a good season? And the first thing he says is, don't get arrested.
Oh my God, dude.
And this kid couldn't have been more than 13.
We gotta have all our guys not intoxicated, okay? Not in jail.
It was
on the field.
It was fucking the greatest thing. I saw it because I'd seen stuff talking about it earlier, but I finally saw the clip today. And like I appreciate an honest fan. Like when you can be honest about your team and go, yeah, this isn't going to be a great year. Like I talked to a Bears fan at work earlier today, and he was like, man, as soon as they start watching on film on Caleb Williams, the first time he takes a real hit and starts crying, it's all over for that locker room.
Absolutely.
And I was like, I'm not, I try to not be the guy that says that thing because I don't want to, because there's some that would consider it spreading toxic masculinity. But at the same time, that guy's fucking right. Like, that's the way it looks right now.
Yeah, no, for sure. Absolutely.
The number of 3-and-outs that he's had in preseason against second and third team defenses, like, come on, man. So he's had highlight worthy plays, but they were against second and third team defenses.
And he's flashy, but you don't want a quarterback who's like making flash plays all the time. You don't want your quarterback out there fucking flipping around and doing fucking, like underhand pass, like 30-yard passes and getting drilled after. You don't want that. You want your quarterback comfortable in the pocket, scanning targets, running read options, comfortable as like cool as a fucking cucumber. That's how you want your quarterback. You don't want a quarterback back there fucking just, hope I make this play or it's bust. It's either that's either a 15-yard touchdown, it's a 90-yard interception return. No in between. There's everything's up and down with this guy. But that's really what it is, though. But
and that's the thing is, it's like, and that's why there's all these people like, oh, did you see Caleb Williams? He did. You're going to talk to me about a preseason clip? You want to know who looked good in preseason? Kenny Pickett, Johnny Manziel, Ryan.
Oh boy. They look great with sweatpants on, man. Sweatpants and those little
great.
Jamarcus Russell was the best looking dude. He walked in there. He might as well have been wearing an Armani suit. Right? It was his football Armani suit. He had them like 3/4 fucking compression shorts on with the logo on there and everything, and the little short shorts, but like halfway shorts, so you can see his thigh muscles and shit. And he walks out there and just like sits down, gets down on a knee, and throws the ball 75 yards in the air. And they were like, all right, it's a good start. I can see that. Yeah, just whipping the ball. The fucking scouts can hear the fucking whistle coming off the ball. They're like getting real close to it, like, oh my good God. Oh, good God. It's the frequency.
They're like, it can do that without the Nerf ball that whistles.
Yes. He makes it like the one with the fin on the back. I mean, he throws it into the stratosphere. I can't even see it anymore. It's like a golf ball.
Maybe that's going to be one of his endorsements. Is Nerf is going to be like, well, I mean,
the Jamarcus Russell.
You need something to do now that you're not playing football anymore.
Instead of like whistling and spiraling, it just goes and embezzles somebody from like a school or something. Like that's what it goes. It tries to get in school windows. Like it just goes and flies towards them to go and embezzle money from. I don't know. Jamarcus Russell got arrested for that like 2 weeks ago. I don't know if you heard that.
Did he really?
Yeah, he got fucking. Because he got fired. I don't think he got arrested. He got charged or something, though.
Oh, that's right. He stole like $75,000 from a school.
Yeah, I told him it was for like booster stuff. They're like, what do you need this for? And he was like, booster stuff, bro. And they were like, okay.
He fucking stole it.
Okay. Yeah, he was like, they're like, it's Jamarcus Russell. He's not like he's made her lie to us, right? It's like, all right, maybe give him the money. Like, and they're like, oh fuck. They're like, they're like, you know what? That was dumb. We shouldn't have done it.
They catch him. Why did you steal all that money? Because cocaine is expensive. Next question.
My Raiders signing bonus was before all this guaranteed money was happening. Turns out I thought they couldn't pull any of it. Turns out they can.
They can.
Yeah, it turns out they can go to court about it. They just don't do anything. And I tried, but I didn't do anything. I mean, I really didn't do anything. It's like I was just trying. It's fucking hard, dude.
Before we end up wrapping this up for the night, I came across a video today, And this is actually, I believe it's Genie Bus, talking about the failed CP3 trade for between New Orleans and LA. And I want to get this was a podcast interview, and I want to get your input on this, because I thought this was interesting.
If you remember, we were in a lockout, right? So when there's a lockout, there's a moratorium on everything. You can't make trades, you can't do anything. As we were making a deal with the union and then starting to lift the lockout rules, all the representatives of the teams had to be in New York for Board of Governors meeting to ratify the new CBA. And with that, it also was tied to the revenue sharing that was an important component of our league. As we're in this room ratifying the union or the CBA with the union and voting on revenue sharing, all of a sudden there's kind of this rumor that goes in around the room about a trade. Well, at that time, the team was run by the league, right? So there's no way a trade could be happening if we're all in this room doing league business, except the general manager of the team felt that he had the authority to make a trade.
Of New Orleans at the time?
Right.
Okay.
He felt that he could make a trade. And my dad at that time was, beginning to his health was declining, and he didn't make the trip to New York. I was representing the team. I wasn't responsible for trades. So the trade was happening while everybody is in this room. So teams felt like, how is that possible? We didn't get a chance to make a trade for Chris Paul. And so they all attacked the league and said this wasn't fair. We didn't all get a chance to.
But he wasn't going to you guys, so it doesn't matter. I understand what they're saying.
Like David Stern didn't reject the trade as commissioner. He rejected the trade as governor of the New Orleans team because he wasn't asked permission to okay the trade. But the general manager, when they said we're going to have an arm's distance from making basketball decisions because we're the league, felt that he could make that decision without having to have someone
stamp it.
So like it wasn't the NBA trying to keep the Lakers from Chris Paul. It was about David Stern had a responsibility to make sure that it was a trade that he would approve. So now he just calls off the trade and wants everybody to cool down, because now you had a lot of teams thinking there was some funny business going on, but it wasn't. It was just by coincidence how things lined up. So now our front office decided to make a different trade and traded Lamar Odom to Dallas. So now you can't resurrect the trade because you just broke up the pieces that made it. And so now it was everybody was trying to get Chris Paul, and the Clippers offered the best deal.
Yeah, that was crazy because I remember being on the team, and I remember guys that were involved in the initial trade. I mean, I think Powell was talked about. LO ended up going to Dallas, and in the trade,
Jokes on the Clippers.
So it just had a crazy energy in the locker room.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Because I remember I was with Kobe talking to Chris, like, look out. So basically what you're saying is if the GM of New Orleans would have kind of just took his time, it would have happened.
Yeah.
Wow. What?
Wow. So, yeah. Congratulations, LA Clippers. You really got a real gem there. Like Chris Paul might as well be a fucking he might as well be the mascot at this point. Like, not of like the team that he plays for. He might as well be like a mascot of the NBA. Like he's like a traveling, like he'll be like the guy, he'll be the what do they call it, liaison, or the what's the guy that sits on the embassy? He's the what to a different country. Damn it, you know what I'm talking about. Ambassador.
Yeah. Ambassador. But here's the thing: if that trade happens, there's at least one or two titles in that time frame where Chris Paul is in LA with the Lakers. So does that change the conversation about Chris Paul as a player if he has the rings to back up his tenure?
No.
He's still a Cone?
Yeah. Because he had, I mean, honestly, one, they ain't going to fucking I don't think he goes to the Lakers. I think it goes worse for him somehow. because the Clippers were actually okay there for a little bit. The Clippers were actually like fucking like legitimate in the playoffs for a couple years after that. Like Chris Paul was just. I'm not trying to shit on Chris Paul. I just think that he's like at this point he's kind of just sticking around for no reason. But like when he in his prime, he guided the ball on a string, great point guard, never won anything. But that's not really his job. He wasn't that transcendent of a superstar to be like, oh, go win us some ball games, Chris Paul. No, it's like, hey, Chris Paul, if the ball gets tipped back to you on an offensive rebound and you have to shoot it. Like don't ever take the last shot. Give it to Give it to Kawhi. Sure.
Give it to Kawhi, give it to Book, give it to Ayton, give it to somebody else.
Yeah.
He was a distributor, but he was consistently a distributor throughout his career. You're not
David
looking
West.
at the ball in the wing. I mean, come on.
Pass it to David West, Chris Paul. If I was Chris Paul's coach, I would say that to him all the time just to humiliate him. I'd be like, hey, Chris, why don't you fucking just give it to David West? Give it to David West. And he's like, but you're not better than me. I'm like, David West needs the ball. Okay. We don't really trust you with it in your hands. Okay. You don't think you can do it. You give David West the ball. Yeah. No, that's terrible. But like, that's kind of how I think about Chris Paul though. Would you agree? I'm like,
yeah, I mean, it's
a lot of hype.
I think there was the hard thing is I think that Chris Paul's impact was harder to track on a stat sheet because I mean
Yes.
there's only so many things that he does that are going to track as assists or rebounds. You know what I mean?
Or attack negatively as defensive. He's a piece of shit.
Right. And defensively, right. He was not a concern.
Bro, you could probably even look back at the history of Chris Paul's teams and the way that they did in the playoffs and say that it's almost completely accredited to Chris Paul being terribly defensively and not being as proficient on the offensive side. He's flashy. He could fucking had the ball on a string. He made fucking no look passes, right? But like didn't make him that good of a player because he was giving it up so much at the defensive end because he's over there like trying to, he's trying to be Larry. What is it? Old Gator Rivers. They'll call them Harlem Globetrotters.
Yeah.
It's not how you win basketball games.
It's no, and you're right. Defensively, he was not great. But I do think that we're talking about spots where he, sent it to one player, which shifted things around to where they could kick it to somebody else to open up the shot. Like he was good at creating shots when he was in his
He's like Jason Williams from State Farm, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Jason Williams from State Farm. J Will, white chocolate.
Oh, J Will.
Oh, J Will. But much more gangster than John Stockton.
Much more gangster than John Stockton. But like that's the thing is there's certain ways where I almost draw parallels between him and Stockton, but obviously I think Stockton was better in his role than Chris Paul was in his.
And Stockton never won anything either, which backs up the
right.
Yeah,
and like
there
is some parity there, but I also like I'm not knocking Stockton at all. Stockton was a better player than Chris Paul.
Tony, I actually I do have to play a video for you, just a little. I don't even want to get the conversation started. I don't even want to do it. But I saw a video of, and I've always said this, and I believe you've kind of like came along on this train with me a little bit, is go watch a fucking 1983, Jordan's rookie season. Go watch, even the 86, 88, I mean, early 90s, the whole time. Go watch random games with the Cleveland Cavaliers that the Bulls play. Go watch random games with the Indiana Pacers that the Bulls play. First of all, there's 8 white guys on the floor. That's not a great start. Okay, so we got guys that look like today's failed gym coaches, the guys that got kicked off the team their freshman year in NAIA. That's who's playing center for the fucking Pistons. Okay, Bill Lambier did accounting on the side because it was just like that's what he's like, hey, I just put the jeans on, man. That's what I just look like, and everyone thinks I do their numbers. And like, yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. LeBron James is bigger than Bill Lambier. There's a fun comparison for you. He's much bigger, like much bigger.
It's people want to try and bump up the talent that Jordan faced in the 90s. Sure. There was a huge jump in talent. Like the talent in the NBA from 80 to 85 could not touch the talent in the NBA from 90 to 95. That there was that much of a difference.
Even that quickly.
Yeah. There was that much of a difference in talent in the NBA in that short of time because it was blowing up thanks to what Bird and Johnson were doing. And some of these guys were coming in and getting tryouts off of street ball from urban areas. You're not getting tryouts off of street ball now.
No. Oh God, no, dude. You're in the privatist schools. You are in the most prestigious of athletic colleges.
Yeah.
Most prestigious. Okay. You are every step of the way. If you are that talented, you are every step of the way being told that you are going to do said thing, right? And then whether or not you do it or not, but like there's no there's no fighting. Nobody's walking on anymore. Let's just say that.
Right.
There's some walk on guys, all right? A lot of heart, but they ain't going to the next level like that. Sorry.
You're not. And that's the thing for me with the talent comparison to what Jordan faced versus what LeBron faced. And I'm not going to deny that Jordan was super fucking talented.
Of course.
But he did not have to face the level of talent that LeBron does.
No.
A team of any 5 medium guys, medium level guys. I'm not talking A tier or S tier guys. I'm talking B tier guys in the NBA.
Right.
You give me a team of 12.
Okay. Like Bogdanovich and shit.
Yeah.
Bogdanovich and he like
give me the average B tier from 1996 NBA team. They are going to get fucking smacked.
Rolled.
Absolutely rolled.
They probably win they could probably win a couple of games maybe. Like if you're going like an 11 game series, they could probably win like 3. Like two or 3. That's getting rolled, dude. That's 9-2. That's getting fucking rolled. Like it wouldn't even get to that point sometimes. It'd be like, yeah, you can't really win because
but that's the thing. One game, because the guys today are faster, they're more precise with their movements.
They're stronger, bigger.
They take better care of their bodies than those guys in the 90s did.
For sure. The tough guy attitude got you a long way.
Exactly.
And it don't get you anywhere now. Well,
and part of that's and let's talk about the size difference.
Yeah.
The size difference of today's NBA players versus in the 90s.
Yep.
Most NBA teams today, with very few exceptions, do not have a guy on their roster that is under 6'2".
Pretty much, yeah. There's a couple spacey ones, but not really.
Right, but those guys that are under 6'2", typically they still have the handles to make up for the height difference.
Freaks. They're usually freaks. Yeah, they can jump really high, and they're like little springs.
If you were 6'2" to 6'4" in the NBA in the 90s, outside of Yao Ming, you were a fucking giant. 6'2" in the 90s NBA was 6'6" today.
Kick it up a little bit. It would be like, yeah, I'll give you that. Like, so 6'4", I'll give you 6'4", or probably in the 90s is like 6'6" today. That makes sense? So like, or sorry, does that make sense? So
yeah,
6'6", yeah.
There's and you can argue that height isn't everything, and it's not everything. But if you're getting that outsized, that consistently, because it's an average of a couple inches, an average of 20 to 30 pounds. We'll say 20 pounds to be objective. 20 pounds and 2 inches of height.
Yeah.
That makes a difference, especially because of the athletic ability that these guys today have that they didn't have in the 90s.
Absolutely. And how the
LeBron
game has been
consistently made the finals in his career more times than he didn't.
Thank you. Tony, I have tears underneath these glasses right now. There's tears there because you're hitting around in the head. You're hitting around in the head. Absolutely. How about the fact that so 6'6" to 6'4" was what we were talking about, right? How about the fact that the game has changed so much? The game has changed so much that there are 7-footers in the NBA now. Almost all of them shoot threes, handle the ball. Victor Wembanyama is 7'5", and he plays point guard for the fucking San Antonio Spurs.
Such a fucking freak, dude.
Like, so there's the versatility of every single player is really the secret here, because like then what are you gonna get? You get Bill Winnington. Let's throw old Bill Winnington from the fucking 92 Bulls out there against fucking who's he got? Taco Fall. Taco Fall 7'3", 240. Taco Fall's got like a 10-inch, fucking 7'10" wingspan or some fucking stupid shit like that.
Exactly.
And on Bill Lambier,
Guys have.
Bill Lambier had smaller hands than I do.
Well, and that's the thing is you've got there's just every difference. Like these guys today are a second faster down the court, a full second faster at least down the court than the guys in the 90s were.
Absolutely, dude. So Tony, if like you are gonna like if anybody's gonna add this into their fucking Michael Jordan, like their case for Michael Jordan, like and be like, well, yeah, the talent hasn't went up at all. It's like you can actually don't make that point because you can clearly see that it has went up, right? Don't make that point. Make the point that it's not Michael Jordan's fault.
And it's
that he beat who he wanted to beat, because like that's all you can do is play who against you were born at the same time as and play against, right? Because like that's all you can do.
Steve Kerr was on the Bulls long enough that he got what 2 rings with Jordan, right?
Yes,
it was 2. Okay,
three. The second three. He was for all of the second 3. Yeah,
Steve Kerr wouldn't last 3 years in the NBA today.
Oh no, and he would tell you that. He would tell you that. He like so. There's a couple of dudes that are like fucking Peyton Pritchard, who doesn't really play for the world champion Celtics. Okay, he's a bench guy, doesn't really play. Okay, and he's a freak athlete. All right, so these guys are just upper echelon. Like Alex Caruso, freak athlete. That's why he lost his hair, bro. He got that testosterone. He's just a freak, right? It just all that testosterone just blew his hair out of his fucking head. It was like, nope, gotta have room for fucking your athletic excellence. No, nope. We can't concentrate on fucking growing hair. We got to concentrate on winning, Alex Caruso. We're concentrating on winning every day. All right? No. It's him, Dante DiVincenzo, who I think is an actual biracial angel, so that doesn't really count.
Yeah, he's so fucking talented, too.
Yeah, he's an Italian guy. Yeah, but there's a couple of guys, but like, to your point, no. Right? There's not going to be Steve Kerr's. See, I think Steve Kerr's like 6 foot tall. They had him listed at 6'2".
Like
anything over 6'1",
6'2", somewhere in there.
Yeah, just shooting jumpers. Like, oh, yeah. Do you know the first thing that fucking Chris Middleton's gonna do to old Steve Kerr when he gets matched up with him? Would you like to know? No. He's gonna fucking go in the post and dominate that fucking little fuck, dude. He's gonna fucking go dominate. Mouse in the house. Mouse in the house. There we go. He's tiny. I'll just roll around. I'll just get him with one of these.
And that's the point is, and that's why I will take LeBron over Jordan. I loved watching Jordan.
It's been said. Dude, me too, man. How difficult do you think this is for me, all right? I got to sit here and fucking... You guys are all like passionate, like you hate Michael Jordan. Sure. I'm like, no, he's my fucking hero. He's my
if I recall, you have like an entire binder of Jordan, just Jordan cards.
I have like, yeah, it's up there now. It's gotten more fucking ridiculous.
I was gonna say it's got to be close to full at this point.
It's gotten more ridiculous, and they're and like those things are just fucking still hot as a fucking pancake, bro. Selling MJ still selling better than pretty much anybody in the NBA besides LeBron. I mean, second highest fucking player you get is fucking Michael Jordan. He's hasn't been playing for 15 fucking years. First highest is definitely a problem. Like just by a little bit though, weirdly, still, so. But yeah, I have a lot of Jordans, and I have like pictures of Jordan. Like my grandma's house had fucking an old Jordan picture, and it said age 6 on it. And I had drawn Michael Jordan like this big. It was a terrible picture. I was not good at the time, but wasn't a good drawer at the time. But like, yeah, 23 Bulls clearly on the jersey, So he was my fucking hero, dude. I have one of those like little cards that like the last shot when he clearly pushes off of Brian Russell during the last shot. He fouls Brian Russell offensively, and then crosses over and shoots the famous jump shot, right? He does the hand thing and he holds it for a second. I have like one of those little cards that you could flip forward and backward and it would make the shot. He would go up and hit it and it would go through the net, and then you could turn it back the other way. It would reverse it. He would go, you know what I'm saying? Cool as fuck, dude. Yeah, I had all the shit. So that's the point. Like I had all the shit. But yeah,
Jordan was actually the reason I had the realization at a young age that I was not going to be a professional athlete. Yep. I remember my elementary school had one of those Jordan milk posters where you could see how tall Jordan was.
Bro, I have one of those in my room. In my room. They cut out with the fucking things on the back that made it stand up. Yep.
No, this was just a paper poster that was on the wall.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah.
It showed how tall he was.
Yep. With
and of course, because it was the 90s, you saw something with Michael Jordan. Oh, how tall am I compared to Michael Jordan? And I walked next to that poster and I kind of looked at where my eye line was. which was, not great, especially as a kid. He could have used my head to rest his nuts on for some relief.
That thing was, he could stand up tall so he could talk into the mic, if you know what I mean.
Right.
Just really get in there. And apparently, according to the MVP statue, this thing is just a fucking other ghastly world order of madness. I think there's 2 of them in there in the MVP trophy. I've been looking at it really close. I think there's I've been doing some investigating. I took a microscope too, did a lot of other things. Slept with it. But I did I said just stepped up with it, slept with it. But no.
Oh shit!
There's 2 dicks in there.
There's 2 dicks.
I was pointing out there's 2 dicks in there. But yeah,
But I looked at that poster, kind of looked where I was, and I looked up and I saw how tall Jordan was, and I looked over at the nurse because it was in the nurse's office of the school that I went to in Peoria, Arizona, and I looked at the nurse and I said, "I'm never going to be that tall," and she looked at me. She had real sad eyes and she smiled. She said, "I don't know. It could happen." Like, bitch.
She had to lie to you, Tony, right there.
She had to lie to me.
It was a white lie that brought tears to her eyes as she watched you waddle away. She was like, "Nope, kid, sorry. You're also not black. Not gonna happen." Like, she was like, and then, like right when you walked out of the room, Tony, and she shut the door, she like went over to the Jordan poster. She's like fucking rubbing up on it. And she was like, smelling it. He was like, "You're like, oh, that's our creepiest fuck." She's like, she grabs its ass. She like puts behind the poster and grabs its ass. Like, this is just getting weird now. She's like, "Oh, you're so tall." She's like looking up at him. Yep. I mean, hey, imagine what they would do to a fucking real Michael Jordan in the 90s, dude. How much poon was Michael Jordan get at his prime poon? Okay, PP prime poon for Michael Jordan. What do you think it was? Like, let's say, how many girlfriends did Michael Jordan simultaneously possess? Out of 5, do you think?
I would say he had his wife and then at least 3 girlfriends. I would say 3 to 5. 3 to 5.
So maximum like 6 to 7. Like, by he got to 7. He stepped on 6 just to make it classy. He was like,
a girlfriend for every week. Yeah,
absolutely. 6. That's what he fucking rewarded himself with every one. That was so he had the first 3, and the actual reason why he quit basketball is because of the first 3 wives on top of the wife he already had. Like, it just became too much for him. Like, he's like, Mr. Jordan is in seclusion in the West Wing. He's like sick and takes a breath of fire.
Speaking of Jordan being forced by Jerry Reinsdorf to quit basketball for a year, so nobody talked about how his gambling addiction almost got his dad killed.
It did, yeah, because
it did get his dad killed.
Yeah,
I talked to a customer today, and he's in Chicago, and we started talking because that's the guy that I asked about Caleb Williams, and we kept talking, and he told me that like there's like a little downward tunnel that goes under some railroad tracks. It goes into the park where the White Sox play. It's got this big ass mural, like a bunch of White Sox legends, and Jerry Reinsdorf picture is in the mural, and people keep sticking a clown nose on Jerry Reinsdorf's face.
Yes, dude. I've seen that for some reason.
And I think that's fucking great.
I've seen that picture. I've seen that picture, like, of somebody doing it at somewhere. Like, because I get his picture and I get a fucking big red clown nose on it. Like it looked like somebody painted the one I saw on. They just went ahead and painted it. Like, they just were like, "Oh no, just leave it on there."
That would be funny. Like, get like a good street artist that can make it look 3D,
yeah, dude.
And then
Banksy?
Fucking put a God.
He would do it too. That's right down his alley. He likes the balloons and the fucking
I think Banksy's going to be dealing with political pieces for a while, thanks to what's going on and all that crap. So, but I don't know. Maybe he'll do Chicago fans a service.
What have I not heard of? What have I not heard of?
Because of election season. In general,
he starts. Does he get hot during these times? He starts doing fucking.
It has happened before, but it's never like at least that I've seen, it's never directly political piece. But it seems like he becomes more active during these seasons. I don't know if because, people are talking more, that there's going to be more activity. Like, people will catch it and share it more because they're already on doing the other things. But I just like the last 2 election cycles, or at least the last election cycle, he was, at least from what I saw, far more active. So we'll see. I like
So-
Banksy stuff though. I think he's talented as fuck.
So there's a show called The New Pope on HBO. I don't know if you've ever seen it before.
No, I never heard of that one.
Oh my god, dude, fantastic! Jude Law plays a young pope who like is just a fucking crazy fucker, basically. Like it shows inside the Vatican. Anyway, they are talking about what were you just talking about with the fucking Banksy? We were talking about Banksy.
Banksy.
Jude Law, the Pope in the show, calls Banksy the greatest contemporary artist of all time, and he uses the reasoning of his fucking art is amazing, clearly, right?
It
But
is.
he's anonymous. He's giving it to everybody without any. He doesn't get recognition. He goes home and nobody knows who he is, right? He's completely
Right.
fucking faceless, nameless, right? And like there's a power over people in that he like is gaining because he isn't a person. Like it's the craziest shit ever, dude. Like it's like a weird, like everyone thinks Banksy's like the fucking he's like a myth, like a legend, like nobody's ever seen him, or like they don't know who he is, right? He might not even be real. It's like he's making him otherworldly. They're making him into like a god almost. It's
Right,
crazy.
and that's ultimately that's what he's doing because, or he or she or they or whatever. That's what's happening is because first off, you could almost if enough people work in that same style, Banksy doesn't ever die. Think about
Right.
that. Think about that concept
Yep.
for a second, because it doesn't have to just be one person. It could be a collective that has a shared vision. And whenever an agreement gets made that something is going to get done, whoever's going to do that piece gets it done, shrinks back into the shadows. It's another way that you can keep Banksy from being found because you're not using the same individual. It's a lot easier
Right.
to stay anonymous when it's not just one person. It's a group that's coordinating together.
Absolutely, because they can confirm. They can be like, "Oh, we know that he did these ones because we have this, this, and this," and they're like, "But these three are clearly not him because we know who did those three." And then it's like, "Oh, well, one guy did one of them, and we know that these two didn't do those, but one guy did one." It's like, "Whoa, here we go." Yeah, if like trying to figure that shit out.
Exactly.
Beautiful.
It's and so I enjoy, like, Banksy is true modern art in the best form. I personally believe. But I'm gonna check out that show because I think I've actually, now that I think about it, I think I saw a promo for that show and it looks legit.
Yeah, it's Jude Law's the first season, and the second season is Jude Law and fucking God, what can I think of his name? He's in Red. He's in fucking God damn it, the Poker Rounders. He's in Rounders. He's fucking I'll splash the pot whenever. John Malkovich. John Malkovich is in it. Yeah, sorry.
Oh god, I love John Malkovich.
John Malkovich the second season, dude. He's fucking that show's awesome. You know what the coolest part about it is? You get like actual real like kind of simulation views of like what popes and cardinals and shit and stuff are like inside the Vatican. And you think of the Catholic Church as like this fucking like entity of like, oh, they just do like they're all good and they just walk around in like lines and stuff, and they're inside of a sanctuary or whatever. These motherfuckers are smoking cigarettes, like fucking betting on soccer games, and just like they're just like normal dudes, like, and they're always wearing the fucking. It just looks hilarious because they're always wearing like the priest outfits and shit, like the red cardinal things and stuff. And they're just like out there just smoking sick, like
I'm gonna
drinking.
have to check that out because that's
Dude, it's great.
that
It's
looks
super interesting.
You know what show I recently found online that and we'll close with this. The show that I recently found online that I have been fucking enamored with
What's that?
because I haven't seen it since I was a kid. I finally found a streaming service that has the Drew Carey Show.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the writing in that show is like is a different. That's a whole different awesome because it was like that. It's mass consumable, but it's not mass consumable. Like it's actually still funny. They made it mass consumable and funny.
It holds up. I'm almost through the entire first season, and it actually it holds up because there's certain like topics within the show that are relevant today. Like one of the episodes that I just watched, and I'd forgotten about this episode. Drew puts a cartoon with a memo that goes out to the entire company, Winford Louder, their company, and to lighten the mood. And it was a caterpillar trying to get it with a French fry. And
Nice.
somebody, a female employee, filed a complaint, and it turned into sexual harassment and the debate about sexual harassment and hostile work environment. And that part of the storyline, ended up carrying through for a few episodes because she ended up the character ended up suing him for the hostile work environment stuff. And so like, that's definitely a topic that's relevant today.
Called it. Called it.
You know, he hires Kate to work at Winford Louder, and that's, you know, somebody, because he worked in personnel, that's somebody in a position of power helping out their friend.
Giving unjust favoritism.
Right.
Whatever the fuck they call it.
The boss of the company's banging one of the employees, and she ends up getting to be the manager of a project that another character suggested. Like, I mean, relevant topics to today. And I'm in the first season that came out in 95.
Jeez.
Was
that him? So that was him writing it. And then like a couple of those dudes from Whose Line Is It Anyway, not Wayne Brady.
No, it was him, Ryan Stiles, Diedrich Bader, who was in Office Space.
Right.
The Karate Dojo guy.
The writers, though, were the dudes from
writers, it was him.
I think it's guys from Whose Line Is It Anyway, the Jewish guys from Whose Line Is It Anyway, the two tall and short white guy. I think that's who it is.
No, so Ryan Stiles was the tall one. The short one, Diedrich Bader, no, he was not on. I don't even think, honestly, I can't remember him ever making even a guest appearance on Whose Line.
Okay, so yeah, I was thinking that you know what I'm thinking of, the bald guy with the on Whose Line Is It Anyway with the hair on the sides. Yeah, okay, gotcha. Okay, that's what I was thinking of.
But like Craig Ferguson, that was actually his big break. He's in later episodes.
I love Craig Ferguson.
Yeah, he was
hitting on all the female guests. When he's still drinking, he was fucking drunk, dude. The whole time he's drinking out of that big mug thing that he opens up, like it's a Scottish mug thing. And he's hammered. You can tell he's just like up there. He's getting pretty loosey goosey in some of them. Like he's fucking hitting on all the hot guests that he has. Fantastic. Scottish, that Irish drunken bastard. they got about as bad as the Indians, Tony. No, I'm just kidding.
So writing
credits right there, kind of. See it?
Hold on, I can't see.
See that Banksy right there?
Oh wow. Oh yeah, okay. I've seen that before. You showed me that before.
Yeah, it's a simulation one. But it's the clock in the middle. Because
that actually does help the piece, I think.
He always does the physical stuff, right? Because it's like maybe like a crack or something. He uses it as like a balloon thing or whatever.
Right. He used the environment as part of the piece.
Right. And that guy's wearing the guy from No Country's wearing fucking Flavor Flav's chain. Yeah. Flavor Flav's clock chain, which makes no sense at all. It's not supposed to. This is art. Get it?
Yeah. There was
Joel McHale on Ted.
Joe McHale on Ted.
That's just really so funny.
It's I like Joe McHale.
John Lennon's glasses are worth like $1 million. Yeah. John Lennon's glasses are worth like $1 million. I had Soto sign these right across the face here.
It's
my baby one.
Writing wise, writing wise, it wasn't necessarily. I don't see any names looking at it that were anybody that I would consider to be huge, like huge in the Hollywood sense,
right?
Because I mean, and a lot of these people were probably like they were also writing on Seinfeld and stuff like that. So, probably bounced around to like Seinfeld, and staff wrote on Friends and some of those different shows. So it's, I mean, there wasn't anything that was truly standoutish about that list, but I mean, you got Drew Carey, Diedrich Bader, Ryan Stiles, Christina Miller. The woman that played Mimi in that show, Kathy Kinney, I think is her name. She was super fucking talented.
When did that show? You said 94 that show came out?
95. First season is 95 to 04.
I like how Drew Carey has his own little caricature logo thing.
Well, and
that'd be sweet.
I'd forgotten that they changed they changed songs because originally the first, at least the first season, it was Moon Over Parma, was the song, and then they switch it to Cleveland Rocks later on down the line. And honestly, I thought it was Cleveland Rocks the whole time. So that was
that is interesting because I think everybody does, don't they? Like that's that's one of their staples of that show.
I'm pretty sure because I think I saw somebody talking about it. I think it was only the first season. I'll have to keep. I'm gonna keep watching. Probably gonna go watch a couple episodes tonight.
Tony, have you seen the I'm gonna share my screen real quick. Have you seen the Nickelodeon symbol thing with Epstein? Here, I'll show you.
No, that sounds
real quick. Okay, so let me know when it's showing. Did I unpack it? Did I do it? You need a tweet? No, I'm kidding. Okay, so I literally just looked it up, Googled Nickelodeon's slogan. Okay, see that Nickelodeon logo right there?
Yep.
Okay. All right, that's the classic one, 1997, or that's 97 one. I don't know if it's the first one, but it's
that's pretty.
All right, let's do this now. Epstein Island. What's that look like to you?
What the fuck?
Right there. That one. Perfect. That one's great. There you go. That one right there.
SpongeBob has the right expression.
Right?
Right there. And
go back.
that third row.
Dude.
That's what the fuck?
No, I'll go back. Yeah, I'll go back to it. And then that's
there's a couple.
Hey, there you go.
On the side. That is ridiculous.
I'll just leave that right there. Oh yeah. Oh, there's another part to this actually. Hang on. It's I think this one's stretching a little bit probably, but so let's see here.
What's crazy is now just in top results, you can see the comparison with Nickelodeon and Epstein Island.
Yep.
That's fucking great. That's just great.
So this one kind of, I think, is kind of like opinionated if it's real or not, but Nickelodeon, the Latin translation of the English phrase, I don't care about God. So something of it translates to the I don't care, I don't need God, I know God, I don't need God, something like that. It translates in Latin into, it's like Nickel and then Odeon or something like that. It's like the same. It's weird, dude. It's weird.
The last time I saw something that was that much of a stretch, I was still working in a restaurant and I walked into the cooler to someone doing the fucking bat wing.
Yes. Hell yeah. That's a little bit of a back. But I mean, hey, it does say it says it. Look at it.
Wow.
Look at it.
Hold on.
You know what I'm saying?
That's just.
There you go.
That's
crazy. But isn't the island's kind of weird though, right?
That's the island. It's
crazy, dude.
That's a little weird. There's
some shit going on, bro.
That's making me too uncomfortable for it to be a coincidence.
Okay, one last thing before we go. Have you seen the fucking the mirror, like the object mirror trick where you fucking block off an object and then put it up to the mirror, and the mirror you can still see the object, but the mirror should not be able to have the reflection of the. You know what I'm talking about? Okay, I can't really do it on the thing, but like.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah, like like based on the angle of everything, the mirror shouldn't be able to pick it up, but you can still pick it up.
Yeah, you just put it like you literally put it up against a mirror like this, right? And the mirror should not be able to see, right? Because you can't see it right now. There's a mirror in the webcam, right? You can't see the thing. But when you come to the side, you can see the fucking cap in the mirror. So how does the mirror have the image of the cap if it can't see it? If it's not reflecting light off of it? How is it filling in? That's like it's filling it in. Because right now, if I look at it in a mirror like this at an angle, I can see the fucking cap, and there's no way you should be able to see the cap. Do you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense?
That's crazy.
It is crazy. Go. You're gonna go try it. You're gonna be like, it has something to do with your perspective and how your eyes work, and because your eyes are mirrors too. So like you're catching the light of the object and you're filling it into the mirror, which is still crazy. That makes sense. Yeah, shit's nuts. We'll show you after when we talk about World of Warcraft later. I was thinking about watching the Leroy Jenkins. The whole video is one of my favorites. Have you seen that?
The Leroy Jenkins video.
Obviously you've seen that. Yeah.
Is
that you, Tony? It was you, wasn't it?
I wish. I fucking wish. Honestly, I was more heartbroken when I found out that was fake than when I found out that wrestling was fake.
Right. Yeah. It was like you guys really and think about how easy it was for them to set this up too.
Oh, I mean, seriously. Like especially with how
in a video game,
the perception that people have of WoW nerds, and they just set it up like that because other people would get sucked in.
Yep. Like, oh, this is fucking, this is hilarious. They're like, and then they can kind of make like a common, and we're gonna laugh at this person joke, right? You're like, oh, we're gonna laugh at the nerds. It's just so classic. Yeah,
no, you're
set it up and everything.
Correct.
Yep.
Yeah, you're 100%.
Set it up and everything. Geniuses, Tony.
Geniuses. I wish we were that smart. Damn.
One day, I wish I could make up an idea like Leroy Jenkins. Then I'd be enough. Then I'd be enough, Tony. You look like Alex Verdugo's trailer park cousin. You look like Alex Verdugo went to maybe had a kid when he was in high school.
Bro, okay, so the week before last at karaoke, some chick, like it was an older woman, complimented me by saying I have a beautiful, sturdy neck.
Yeah, baby. She wants to test that thing out. And she wants to test that thing out with her.
Fucking no, you're gonna get a kick out of this. I came home because I didn't know how to respond to it, not just because I don't accept compliments well, but because I had no idea what the fuck. Like, what the fuck do you say to that? But I get home and I tell Martha, and you know what she fucking does? She starts singing Gaston from fucking Beauty and the Beast.
Hell yeah, baby. That's right.
You should not be encouraging her, you dick.
Yes, dude. That's fantastic.
That's fuck you. That's
oh my god,
fantastic.
Like, that old lady wanted to use your fucking face. She wanted to just use you like a road stallion. She wanted to use your face
like to crack my skull like
a saddle,
a coconut. Like she was just
no showers, no nothing. She'd been riding all day. She's been riding. It was about 1 a.m. So she'd been riding all day, all day. Tone. She was.
I gotta send you this video of this female comic that I came across today. Just absolutely fucking horrible. I sent it to Sarah Johnson, Jay's sister.
Oh, really?
And this got her going.
Really?
Oh yeah, like she was even cracking up at it. This is a solid female comic that I'd never heard of, but I am gonna fucking go down the rabbit hole.
Is she a younger, possibly Jewish looking?
No, older, okay. like cougar age type chick.
Blonde?
No, dark hair.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, solid, like a solid set, which I don't hate female comedians. I just have a hard time finding a female comedian that knows what the fuck they're doing.
Also, there's not near as many of them.
Right, there's not. Like, and that's and the unfortunate piece with that is because there aren't as many female comics, the bar is lower. If there were as many female comics as there are male comics,
it
wouldn't just be Nikki Glaser who's at the top of her game, and Taylor Tomlinson's in there somewhere, but I don't necessarily always see the draw for her. And Eliza Schlesinger looks like the one that ran the sorority that Nikki Glaser was in.
Right. I think Chelsea Peretti is fucking really good. I like her. She's got big.
I like Chelsea Peretti and fucking Tom Segura's wife. Was it Christina?
Yes. Yeah. That's why I thought you were talking about with the older lady with the blonde. She's super hot.
But she's good too. I like her better on the podcast than I do.
For sure.
Than I do as a comic, but she's good. She's funny.
She's smart. She has to play that fucking, she has to play those angles because it's unfortunate, but like that's what it is. She's got to find kind of like a sidebar niche, and that's obviously what she's doing, which is great. It's fucking genius.
And that's one
I'm
of the
not going to watch it, but
that's one of the things that I think is hard for female comics is the the niches that you have to find are so much more fucking limited. Like
Yeah.
Nikki
There's sex.
Glazer. Nikki
And then
Glazer
there's
would not be as funny as if she wasn't talking about sex all the time.
right.
She wouldn't be.
And it's weird to do because it's like either it's sex or it's fucking loneliness are the two, or loneliness or like nerdiness. It's like a detached, almost like melancholy sort of Wednesday Addams thing, right? Or it's fucking sex, bubbly blonde, chipper. It's a fucking, I don't know, right? Those are the two. That's it. It's the only thing you can be.
Yeah.
Or everybody hates you. It's the weirdest shit ever. But like that's also women hating them too.
It is. They do not get support from female. Like women get mad at Nikki Glazer because she's tall and thin and won't support her because that's the way she looks. That's the dumbest shit.
Yeah. What are you talking about? Like
if
you were to look at Joe Rogan and just you've never heard Joe Rogan talk in your entire life, didn't know anything what he was about, you just went and looked at him, you're gonna get a way different idea than what he probably actually is about at this point, right? Most likely, right? So what the fuck are we talking about? Like this surface? What are we talking about?
Did you see the
game? Not a game. Not a game, Tony.
Practice.
Not a
Did
game,
you see
Tony.
the joke that Rogan made in his new special on Amazon or on Netflix about how when he got COVID, he's like, I cannot die from COVID for all the shit that I've talked. If I fucking die from this,
never live it down. And we talk, hey man, we here to talk about Rogan. Are we here talking about Rogan? We talking about Rogan? A podcast that I die for. We didn't talk about Rogan. Yeah. Not a game, Tony. Talking about Rogan. Not a podcast, Tony. Rogan. He was so drunk during that. That's the best part of that whole fucking AI speech.
You could tell.
I bet he smelled like fucking like Hennessy. He smelled like Hennessy and hookers. Like I bet it was emanating off of him.
Is Hennessy his drink? He looks like a tequila guy.
He looks like a Coors Light guy to me. You ever heard like he looks like a Coors guy?
Yeah, I can see that.
He might just be like the whitest guy who's also the blackest guy. Like that's what On Ice always reminds me of. He's so articulate. Like it's like but he also like is just he's got like crew thick and like everything's tattooed on all of his fingers. Up his. He played street ball the whole thing, right? But like I don't know, it's weird. I love Allen Iverson, dude. My email address just be I am the answer.
He's another one that I think doesn't get the credit that he deserves for his time. Like he was
carried Eric Snow, Eric Montross, Tyrone Hill, and there was one more. Oh fuck! It was a terrible roster. It's absolutely Eric Snow was his point guard. Eric Snow's like Chris Paul's fat useless brother. Like they like the one that they just like kind of threw to the wolves. They're like, yeah, good. Throw Eric out there. He'll throw Eric out there. He'll fucking do something. We don't know what he's doing, but he's pretty good. Yeah.
All right, man. Well, we're gonna wrap this up. For those of you that have been watching, we appreciate your support. When things settle down here this fall, we will definitely be far more consistent with making episodes. You can catch us, though, Monday nights, 10 p.m. Eastern, right here where you're watching this show with the Sports Report podcast, talking all things basketball, football, and baseball. With NFL coming right around the corner, don't miss it because we got a lot to talk about. We will see you guys next time right here on the Sports Report After Dark. Have a good night, everybody.
Tiger, if you're watching, man, he's a regular fan of the show, Tiger Woods. Tiger, if you're watching, buddy, I'll call you. All right. And also talk to me about the being the driver thing. You said you need a driver because obviously you need a fucking driver because you can't be doing all that shit. Like where? Yeah. So get with me, man. Get with me. I'll drive for you. But we won't get you fucking